Good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat tonight, right here on Pram FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Imba County, Radio Kwatika in Bon County, and of course Radio Wulugisi and Lofa County. We are streaming live as usual on Pram FM Moravia 105.5. Again, we are streaming live on Pram FM Moravia 105.5 and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook or your YouTube channel, and of course, go to watch the show online. Want to not to only watch the show, but encouraging you also to share the show. Want you to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what is happening tonight. Tonight promises to be very, very interesting. We've got three major topics to deal with, to treat tonight. Our guests will be joining us. I'm sure you're quite aware that the U.S. State Department Investment Climate Report is out. And of course, the report has said a couple of things about Liberia's investment climate. So we'll be talking about that tonight with my guests. Also, I'm sure you're quite aware that media owners, especially private or independent media owners, will shortly begin to smile with the reports that the government is gearing up to settle its financial obligations with them. Who made that revelation? It was made by the Minister of Finance, the man who's turning the wheels of the country's economy. Augusto Pérez-Gafouan, he told the Aja Convention. And so I'm sure media owners, independent media owners, have begun smiling. We'll talk about that as well. We also talk about media reform. We'll talk about that as well. And then also tonight is the CDC headquarters groundbreaking, a wake-up call to the Unity Party ahead of 2029. Should the Unity Party begin being threatened by what they saw, on Saturday? We'll talk about that as well when our guests join us. This time around, we'll encourage our guests to join us at 8:15 so that we'll have more time to talk about our topics and also more time to afford our callers as well. So tonight promises to be very, very interesting. Please don't go away. Just get glued to your phone or your laptop or your radio. We are streaming live on Pram FM Moravia 105.5 and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. Want you to share tonight's show because it promises to be very, very interesting. Let me welcome one of my panelists, Josh Kennedy. George is in. Josh, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening to our many listeners and to our technicians. Sorry I couldn't make it
on
Friday. And I might even miss this coming Friday because of some very critical assignments.
Yes, surely. No, we understand.
So we're doing a lot of things behind the scene.
At the National Port Authority. Or at the party headquarters.
At all levels. Okay. We are not deterred.
Okay. I thought. No, I just wanted to be specific. Is it at the National Port Authority or at the party headquarters?
Everywhere.
Okay, but welcome to the program. We really appreciate your time. How was the weekend?
Fine. I was a bit under the weather, the fever going around.
Yeah.
So, but thank God, I went to the hospital, SOS, and I got treated. Doctors said they were.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you to them. Yeah, I'm feeling much better.
Okay, well, that's good. We thank God at least that you're feeling much better. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. We still with him, Moses Sandy, but I'm sure Moses will join us later on. Our guest will be joining us at 8:15 this time around. What is it that you have on mind? What's been trending on your mind?
Well, it's been disturbing. I see some people see the former president's posture. Some people spreading the photo around saying he's sick. I don't think that's necessary. I think even whatsoever that may be happening or whatsoever, people should not do it as a mockery. He's a former president of Liberia. Apart from that, he's a national icon. This is a man who served as UNICEF ambassador for Liberia and a lot of other good things he did. So we should respect him in spite of all the differences that we may have in the different political quarters. And, I just want to, if there is anything happening, I just want to wish the former president well. So it's something that I think, in fact, the Secretary General of the United Party issued statement calling on all UP people to stay away from making any derogatory or demeaning statement against the former president. That was very important on the part of the United Party. I think not everything that should be or can be politicized in the country. We need to look for the positive news. We should not seek or pray for the downfall of anyone, no matter who the president is in the country. I think it's it for now. And the demolition taking place in Hotel Africa community, I know you've been following it too. The ministry issued evacuation orders, Minister of Public Works, some times ago. And I saw on Facebook, I saw the demolition exercise, opening roads and other things, including in Cinco, Charles Street and all of it, opening the alleys and stuff. So I think I see both steps. I don't know by the government. Probably they talk with the community people and going forward, people in the alley. And I also see horses being marked in Nickel Town, going to Point 4 and other places along the roads. I went there the other time and I was like, what's going on? They say, the government want to open the road, so people in the alleyways should move. Okay. Listen, so I'm aware that the affected individuals are holding constant meeting with the government, district leaders and other people. I hope they will come to a common ground to see how whatever the government wants to do that benefit everyone can go on. So those things are some of the things I've been following. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I think I agree with you on the first one. Relative to what has been trending on social media about the speculation regarding the death of, the illness of the former president George Manasseh. I think what's happening, our politics continue to degenerate, and I think it's bad for all of us. We can be so wishful. You can be thinking negatively about somebody's health. I don't think that's proper for our country. It means that we are not prepared to go further, to even advance as a country. And this is what I tell people often. We'll continue like this. We'll always run to country like Ghana, small country like Ghana and Sierra Leone, in fact, to get assistance, aid in some areas, because we as a people, we continue to be, highly mischievous, especially,
descending of each other.
You and somebody can have political difference. It doesn't mean that, you should be wishful. You should always be thinking negative about the person and wishing the person poor health. And I think it's troubling. It's troubling. And I admire the statement. I just read the statement released by the Secretary General of the Unity Party. He said, his partisans should refrain from speculating poor health about the former president. I think that is true to the bad. We have to stop this. If we continue, our country will go nowhere. We're not advanced as a country. And it means that every time we'll have to go to countries like Ghana and Guinea and Sierra Leone and Nigeria, our friends, I think the people do politics in the country, but they are not that so narrow-minded like some of us. We are, like we are in our own country. We are very narrow-minded. What does it have to do with the politics of the country? If you speculate the death, the poor health of the former president, what does it have to do? I mean, how does it put food on your table? How does it put food on your table? How does it help in the infrastructure development of our country? How does it help in the growth of our economy? How does it help? Why will we continue to behave like this? You know, it's troubling for people to take on the social media, you know, to get so negative. You know, the former president is the former president of the country. Former president is a figure. It's a national figure, international figure.
Yeah.
We can be thinking so negative about him like that. You know, that's troubling. And I'm hoping that, you know, some of the partisans who are involved are hoping that they can begin to listen to the Secretary General. You know, Amos Twe came up very strong. He said they should desist. You can't continue to do this in case, you know, seditions to follow and say, oh, the old man. No, we can degenerate our country to this level. We can stoop down to the extent that we don't have any feelings for anybody anymore. We can do that. That's totally unacceptable. And then on the issue of the demolition, I think I agree with you. Yes, it's happening, although there's some outcry, public outcry, especially from those who are affected directly. We're hoping that, I don't know whether there was some arrangement for government to give them some compensation so that they can relocate or not of that nature, because we understand some individuals, some of the residents there, they've been residing there for a couple of long years.
Yeah.
So hoping that there's been some decision or some arrangement with those people, that we don't just expel them from that area, and not doing anything for them. I'm hoping that some arrangement been made, some arrangement been made to that effect to compensate our people, to help them so that they can find new areas to relocate.
And also Negro Town, I told you that some areas have been marked through the streets from Point 4 all the way inside Negro Town. I'm told that they're opening our road straight to the river to cross, to open another alley that will help ease the traffic on the Douala Market area. Okay. I said, yes, it's good. I mean, I'm happy that the community, the affected individuals, property owners, I'm told by community people, they are in discussion with the government from the community levels to the highest levels. I thought these are some of the things that should be happening. I hope that whatever they discuss, they come up with reasonable agreements that will help to our country, because easy mobility is fast economic growth, contribute to fast economic growth. So those things, they are necessary in the country, but the people, we cannot forget about the people's well-being. So
yeah, sure. Let me welcome Mr. Edwin Farmwell. Mr. Farmwell, welcome to the program quickly.
Thank you, Slavo, and good evening to you guys. To my brother Kennedy, I have not seen him for a few days. I heard you were under the weather.
Yeah, thank God I'm back now.
Sorry about that, and thank God that you're back on your feet.
Yeah, thank God. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so gentlemen, we'll have to get into our discussion. Like we said, we'll have to start at 8:15 so that we can have ample time to talk about those issues, and also we can have ample time to afford our listeners also to weigh in on some of the discussions that we'll be having tonight. I understand that the Assistant Minister of Finance, Henry Yankwa, I understand he's already on. Was still expecting to join us any moment so that we can talk about this matter. The three major discussions were centered around the U.S. State Department Investment Climate Report on Liberia. That report is out. I was reading through, I think, since September. It's been out, but it has been, not been discussed. But finally, we've managed to lay hands on the report, and that report is out. We'll talk about that. What does it say about the investment climate of our country? Whether that report was damning or it was encouraging. We'll talk about that. media owners now have begun smiling, especially independent media owners have begun smiling now. I understand with the latest information from the Minister of Finance and Development Planning that the government is now rolling on its sleeves or gearing up to begin honoring its financial obligation with those institutions. So I think it's something good. We'll play that speech, a portion of the speech delivered at the Alger Convention by the Minister of Finance over the weekend. Also, is the CDC headquarter groundbreaking ceremony a wake-up call to the Unity Party. Should the Unity Party, begin, putting all in its house in order, especially with the crowd and some of the things that were said by the former president. We'll talk about that as well tonight. But let me welcome the Assistant Finance Minister, Mr. Henry Yankwa, quickly to the program. Mr. Minister, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I say best greetings to you and my fellow panelists, and as well as to our listening audience. And I bring you greetings from the Ministry of Finance family and the entire government.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Let's try to pull out what we have to read for the purpose of giving all of us. Someone is asking for the link. It seems I don't know. Let me try to send the link quickly, and then we pull out this report by the U.S. State Department Human Rights, U.S. State Department Investment Climate report on Liberia. This is the link. Okay, let me try to pull out the document quickly so as to read for the listening of our people and those also on the program and those who are listening. Please share the show. The show promises to be very, very interesting tonight. Kindly share the show. The U.S. State Department has released its investment climate report on Liberia. We are about to go into that report, whether it was damning or whether it was an encouraging report. We are about to go into that tonight. And also on the program, we'll be talking about the speech delivered by the Minister of Finance and Development Planning at the just ended convention of the All Liberian Journalists in the Americas, the ALJA. The minister spoke there. And he made some important policy decisions regarding some regarding the financial obligations. The government has been owing media institutions, and this government wants to make the difference, trying to pay those individuals. So we'll talk about that. He also talked about media reform. We'll look into that speech tonight. And maybe the final and last discussion was centered around the CDC headquarters groundbreaking. Is it a wake-up call to the ruling Unity Party ahead of 2029? So let me try to read this report quickly. I'm sure some others are trying to join us. Let me try to read this report quickly. It goes in for, okay, let me try to get the headline quickly. 2025 investment climate statements on Liberia, executive summary. I may not read all the reports, but some highlights.
It's about 26 pages. Or so.
Yeah, I may not read also some highlights. Well, infrastructure is an especially glaring need, and there are opportunities with electricity generation, airport infrastructure, and transportation, particularly roads and bridges. Liberia's largely commodities-based economy relies heavily on imports, even for most basic needs like fuel, machinery, and transportation equipment, clothing, and rice, Liberia's most important staple food. The economy has a low manufacturing base, is susceptible to external shocks due to its heavy reliance on exports of primary products including iron ore, gold, diamonds, rubber, oil palm, and timber. In 2024, the economy grew by 5.1%, driven mainly by expansion in mining, agriculture, fisheries, and services. Okay, I ended. Growth was boosted by strategic investments in infrastructure and energy development, financed by Liberia's international partners, including the World Bank, USAID, IMF, AFDB, and the European Union. Inflation was 7.7%, down from 10% in 2023. In January 2025, the government launched its Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, AARD, a 5-year national development plan focusing on investments in agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and health, and tourism. In 2024, the Central Bank of Liberia reported 63 million. The Central Bank of Liberia reported 63 million of imports from the United States out of 1.5 billion total annual import payments. Liberia's exports to the United States stood at 57 million out of 1.3 billion total annual export receipts. More rapid economic growth is largely hindered by inadequate infrastructure development, corruption, a weak judicial system, and misgovernance. The government is undertaking initiatives to improve infrastructure, reduce corruption, establish more predictable business policies, and improve the investment climate. Investment and economic development in Liberia, however, continue to face long-standing challenges such as low human development, expensive and unreliable electricity, poor road networks, a lack of reliable internet access, and corruption. Top challenges for U.S. companies investing in Liberia include poor physical infrastructure, low purchasing power of the population due to widespread poverty, inconsistent and overlapping tax administration and policies, a weak judicial reform, inadequate legal protection for contracts, and widespread public sector corruption. Okay, so I continue as escape this one. Despite the government's effort to encourage investment in Liberia, foreign investors report difficulties in meeting with government officials to discuss investment deals unless bribes are offered. A weak legal and regulatory framework, lack of transparency in contract awards, low levels of skilled local labor, and widespread corruption also deters foreign direct investment. Government officials view foreign investors as opportunities for short-term grafts rather than as partners in creating long-term growth for the benefit of the country. Government's decisions affecting the business sector are driven more about political chronism than investment climate considerations. Okay, so let me end there quickly. I know many of us have access to this report. We've read this report, but let me begin with the Assistant Minister of Finance, Assistant Minister Henry Yonkwe. Mr. Minister, what's your takeaway? First of all,
So, somewhat, for me personally, I see the report in good faith because it tried to give a scanty analysis of our Liberian situation. You and I will agree that Liberia is not a developed country, and developing country like ours, like any other developing countries, we have some of these issues. Issue of challenges with roads, electricity, poverty are same major issues within our jurisdiction. But what happens is that there are opportunities in mining, agriculture, aquaculture, forestry, energy, transportation. Anybody coming to Liberia to invest in, for example, railway, we have that opportunity because we're not having that type of public asset of railway that you can move from one county to another. You want to invest in moving people, maybe by using our rivers. You have that business open because there's no other person doing it. So for me personally, it's an assessment of our situation by our foreign partners, and we need to take it in good faith. What is most cardinal here is what is the administration doing to address some of our issues? Are we just sitting and sleeping on them? Issue of corruption, yes, there's corruption in our country, not only in government, even outside government, in other institutions. But then, are we taking practical actions to ensure that we fight corruption? Are people in government being penalized? The other time I said as panelists on one program, and I said, where we are in our own Liberian language, when you see money, you are judging yourself. Do I take it or not? I'm gonna take it or I'm not take it. Where we are going, when you see money, is I will not take it. That's what we want. In the past, when you see money, I will take it. Because nobody's going to penalize you by it. So that's the type of situation we want, where we have a situation where people know if they are involved with corruption, our system will have to judge them. Our system will have to hunt them. So we have to ensure those in government even declare the assets. Now we are discussing that those who in government should be able to pay taxes on the assets. Some of these reform will lead to a system where we can fight corruption. And investing in our infrastructure is also a measure to fight poverty. Because if you build roads, people who having farms, people who live in the rural area, people can do businesses in those environments, and that can, in another way, address issue of poverty. If you have electricity, people can be able to use that as a vehicle to invest into businesses that can give them access to resources. And by that, they can be able to send their children to school, feed their homes. They can be able to provide medical services for their family. And that is also a measure of fighting poverty. If you invest in water, in health, in education. So these are measures government is taking. We know all is not rosy. We have a third fiscal space, which we are working on, but we can show you that this government is committed. I was just listening to you when you talk about government breaking down places to be able to improve on development. These are things we should be doing. For so many years, some of these areas were left idle, and our people took advantages to construct in those places. And we are sorry for some of the issues that are ongoing, but development comes with its own pain. It's a process we must go through. Those countries we watch on television that we go to and we see reforms, they have their own issues like ours. What we need to do now is to start recording some of the issues. But before I pause, let me say we wish the former president well. It is not a good thing that any one of us, any Liberian, irrespective of our differences, be it religious, political, or tribal issues, or traditional issues, that we should wish any one of our relatives or citizens any bad luck. For me personally, I said it last time to some people who work in the trading sector, we need to have a place that when people come to Liberia, they can go and understand the history about George Weah, how he grew up, how he went through his football life, how he became president. Some of them may not believe in his leadership ability, but he is an icon of our country. If somebody comes to Liberia, what do they see about Manasseh Lee? When you go to South Africa, you have pictures, you have places you can go to read about Nelson Mandela and other key leaders in other countries. You go to Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. So these are things that we need to take as people. It's not everything to make political. There are people who may be wishing George Weah well. There are people who may want to see him falling, but God is there. Maybe you wishing him falling, you may fall before him. So we have to wish one another well and ensure that we work together as a country and hold our hands together to see how we move our country forward.
Okay, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Again, share the show, kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow and know what's happening tonight. Let me hear from you, Mr. Edwin Fumble. What's your takeaway? You listened to what I read, and I'm sure you have also have access to the U.S. State Department reports on our business climate, on our investment climate.
Yes, Lobo. You know, I'm not one of the fan of all of these international reports, and there are reasons for that. You know, sometimes people do it from their own perspective. Basically, these international partners, some of the human rights.
You think they are manufactured reports or what?
Most of these reports, because take for example, when I read this report, what I analyzed from there. When you look at the very first part of the report, right? They gave acknowledgement to what the government have done on the issue of inflictions, on the issue of the steps that government is taking to fight, corruptions and other stuff. And then going further down, they come back and say, before you do business, there are government officials that you have to bribe. But what the report failed to name clearly said to us that when we did our investigation, we went to Ministry X, and these were the ministers that actually wanted to take bribes. Whenever you want to throw jabs at people and put it into these report, you try to deepen the conversation. If you are not naming who are the people that are actually involved, the government is big. You have a lot of ministers and so forth. Which particular ministry did you go to be able to say, okay, I came to register a business or I came to have discussion, and the minister said, you have to give me X, Y, Z first, and see what are the president will not take actions. Sometimes I sit and see, when I read the American Human Rights reports, you see all such a thing. Have we ever seen a human rights report from the United States? I mean, human rights abuses going on there. What is right now happening in the United States? If it was happening in any African countries, you'll be condemned. Where judges are saying now in their chambers, they've been handcuffed, where people who were classified as the critics of the current leadership are being, targeted, sent to court. So these reports are meant to just pin us black. And every time we see it, the opposition of the country thinks that this is good for us to run with, so that we can see if we can criticize other people. But they fail to realize that you can change a government. You don't actually change the system right away. It takes time. This government has been into power less than 2 years. Are they making strive to fight grief in our country? Yes, they are.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there briefly to speak with one of the country's economists, Sam Jackson. He often speak on these sort of developments. Let's try to hear from him what's his take about the report. I'm sure he might have read the report. He's one person who's very versed. I mean, very open. And let's try to hear from you quickly. Mr. Jackson, welcome to the program, the Nighttime Heat.
Yes, Sober George. Good evening, and how's your family? How's everybody? I'm glad to talk to you, and it's always a pleasure talking about things that concern my country. So how are you today?
Well, we are okay, and we are on the nighttime heat. Our panelists are also listening to you. Got one of the assistant minister from the Minister of Finance, Henry Yankwe, also listening to you. But let's hear from you because you are just on for a few minutes. You went through the human rights report. If you have gone through it, what's your take? What's your initial reaction to this?
So you're talking about the human rights
No,
report? Or you're
the
talking about-
The investment report. Sorry.
investment climate
Okay.
report.
Okay, look. What the United States government said, this is not the first time they've said it, and this is not because Joseph Boyka is president.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter is there are a lot of economic and structural impediments that prevent foreign direct investment from coming to the country, even for something we call domestic capital formation, which is people make an income in the country, they save it, and then they invest it. There are a lot of impediments that obstruct it, okay? They talk about corruption. They talk about the rule of law. But there are other things that talk about risks. When you're going to invest money in the country, you have to do a political, social, and economic risk analysis. The political risk is very high because of the lack of institutions like a very strong court system. We have the Uniform Commercial Code, but we hardly implement that. We don't carry that out. We don't have a robust debt court, and we don't have real strong property rights. We don't have a cadastral system that delineates the ownership of land around the country. And then there are just a lot of things that are wrong with the financial architecture. If you look at the banks in the country, you have 9 banks and 93 branches. The total asset, not loanable monies, but the asset of this bank is about $1.4 billion. So if you look at the deposits in the banks that's supposed to intermediate GDP to provide credits to grow the economy, it's very, very little. And the reason for that is we don't have a strong personal identification system, the national identification system. So that would be to avoid duplicate people using duplicate identities to borrow and using duplicate assets, okay? Pledging one asset to several banks for loans. So that if you look at the composition of foreign direct investment that came to Liberia, it's mostly within the extractive sector over the last several years. The 66 or the 68 concession agreements were mostly in the extractive sector. And then the nationality or the regional approach to that is mostly from China and India. What you want to do is to bring in European and North American capital, because those are the strong countries that can bring in capital to the country for investments into your banking system so as to be able to attract real investors to the country. So, really, this is a historical problem, okay, and especially have been more deepened post-war, and we need to resolve some of these issues. We may even want to look at our National Investment Code 2010. Okay, it's still very weak, and it's not robust enough in attracting foreign direct investments. And the other thing is that we don't have a clear, what I call a multi-sectoral development approach, where we're growing sectors like tourism, where we're growing value addition in agriculture, where we're supporting services, real estate development, and those kinds of things that will attract serious, sustainable investment in the country that are scalable.
So, Mr. Jackson, with what you explained and what you read from the report, does it paint a very good picture of our investment climate, or is it worrisome, for all of us?
Well, it is worrisome, and we need to begin to fix those structural impediments that prevent substantial amount of foreign direct investments from coming into the country. We need to fix them. We need to fix the financial architecture, which is your financial system. Then we need to also do the cadastral system for clear delineation of property rights. Then we need to build a strong judicial system with a commercial debt code, and we also need to enforce the uniform commercial code. Okay, so these are things that we have to do.
No, but Mr. Jackson, one will think that those are all long-term, measures you're making reference to. What can we do immediately, as a country, as a people, to encourage more, foreign investment?
But listen, if you cannot begin to encourage foreign investments if those investments are not de-risked. You have to de-risk them. There's a risk profile assigned to Liberia. Okay, even though we don't have a sovereign credit rating, but any company that is worth its salt that wants to invest in Liberia, we have to do a political, economic, social, and environmental risk analysis on the country, because those people have boards of directors and they have shareholders, and those shareholders have very stringent criteria in which countries they invest their monies. And Liberia is not at the top of the list of countries that people can invest their monies into. That's why the large hedge funds, the major money center banks, and other private finance capital will not come to Liberia until we begin to fix it. I'm not saying fix it, but just the fact that we begin to fix it, and the fact that we begin to change the narrative. We have to also do a rebranding of this country. Liberia is still viewed as a fragile post-war country.
Now, one of the things that was issued, that was mentioned in a report, I'm sure shortly will be taking leave of you, was the aspect of foreigners coming to invest and meeting government officials requesting for bribes before they can allow them to invest. You think, is that troubling as well? Do you think the crafters of the report did they do this? Did they do real justice to the country by not naming some of those officials of government?
Well, the nature of the report, they cannot name individuals for specific acts of corruption, but they definitely, have evidence of the degree of corruption that still persists in the country, which is obstructing foreign direct investments from coming into the country. We still have issues with corruption, endemic corruption, and the corruption is deep. It is within all of the agencies of government. It is within the legislature, and it's within the people too. Liberia. Look, why do you think this one of the largest companies in this country, and even some of the medium-scale companies like the hotels, why do they bring in Indian accountants? Why do they bring in Indian and Pakistani or Filipino pastry sellers? It's because the psyche of the Liberian is to steal. And the reason why we do it is because we don't have a strong judicial system to punish. Impunity. Okay? Impunity obstructs investment. And if people cannot come to the country and hire Liberians in middle management and top management positions because they're afraid that if the Liberian person steals from them, the court system is not robust enough to bring justice to these companies. That's why if you look at the composition of the workforce in the middle to upper management of the largest companies in this country are mostly foreign nationals.
Now, finally, some supporters of this administration would say that, but those issues that were mentioned in the report, many of them were existing before even the current administration came into being. But then, on the other hand, the administration was elected, with the promise to rescue the country. Do you think, the blame should go more to this administration, or do you think what's happening is historical?
But it is historical. But I said I never said eliminate or solve. I said begin to solve the problem. Look at something simple as METEC and CTN. The government, the corruption that is involved in METEC and CTN. And they said they were going to do what? They were going to cancel those agreements. But what have they done? They've given longevity to METEC. METEC is building a national headquarters here. They also renewed the agreement with CTN, with Aminata. And they continue to provide services to the government, and they're cheating the people of Liberia. If you look at the reasons why a lot of goods and services, a lot of goods are not transshipped from foreign places through Guinea, is because of the level of intrusion and obstruction by these two companies. They're increasing the cost of doing business in Liberia. And when you increase the cost of business in Liberia, then it makes your competitors, your neighboring countries, who have better tariff regimes, who have better and robust approach to curtailing corruption, then they will go to these countries. They won't come to you. Because bear in mind that Liberia, just an African continent, is one of 54 countries. And the African countries that are least corrupt, like Mauritius, like Namibia, like the Seychelles, Botswana, and other, attract significant amounts of foreign direct investment. And if you look at the quality of life and human development in those countries are higher than ours, because they began a long time ago to enable and work towards reducing. You can never in any country eliminate corruption, but at least you can minimally begin to address corruption by doing something robust to reduce the level of corruption in the country.
Okay.
And that would de-risk the investments of those companies. Every investment has to be de-risked. And one of the critical risks that prevent foreign direct investment is the high level and the obstruction of corruption.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It was nice to talk to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, Edwin, you were in speech
Yes,
when we
yes, so-
placed the call to.
Yeah, so I do agree with Big Brother Sam Jackson. Some of the things that he said are all 100% correct, you know, and like you rightly said, these are historical things. Like I said, you can change the government, but you don't change the system automatically. It's going to take time. He talks about the issue of the commercial code, the debt code. Those institutions are already there. So what we need to do is to see how best we can support them, strengthen them, so that people start believing in the legal system, so that they can be able to do business in Liberia.
Okay, let me hear from. Before I go to Mr. Vani Farmer, let's hear from Assistant Minister Yankwa. You listen to Sam Jackson talking about what the government needs to do so as to attract more foreign investment. You listen to him, Mr. Minister. What's your take?
So I think Mr. Jackson struck some points. Like he said, it's historical and it's something we all Liberians need to work on. Like I said earlier on, issue of corruption has been our country from time to time. And that's the reason why sometimes, because we do know that we have corruption issues. And people have been sacked in the federal government for corruption. But we can show you, anybody in those corridors that is caught, have you serious action taken against you? That is one. The next issue is the current Chief Justice. We know, you may have issue with him, but from what he started doing is trying to take some firm actions to ensure he try to restructure or improve our judiciary system. These things are there. We need to work on them. What are we doing to ensure we can improve on them? These are structural issues. The last time I said on this radio, nobody come to on this medium rather, nobody come to your country to invest because they are sorry for you. You have to have those fundamental development different program and policy. Your political environment, your legal environment has to be very strong. And then you need to have a respectable government or administration that people are looking at that can trust your country. So these are things that we need to work on. We need to improve on power
What's about
generation. We need to
what's about the
improve
aspect?
on.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you are coming.
Yes, I wanted to ask you because indicated in the report, and Sam also spoke about that. The aspect that has to do with officials asking investors for bribes before they can allow them to. Is that shocking to you when you read that in the report?
Well, it will shock me, but the fact that we have had corrupt people before, and I do not have any evidence of what they are saying, so I wouldn't want to debunk it, and I also wouldn't want to honor it. But what we can say, if people are in these corridors, we encourage them to share that report with the government and then see whether the government will take action on that. But to say people are not there corrupt, I mean, you go to a common party, somebody will eat and tell you, say, I haven't eaten yet. That is corruption in itself. So we are aware that there are corrupt people in our systems. They have been there before. There are corrupt people all over, even in religious institutions, there are corrupt people. They are in communities, they are in the markets, places, they are in private institutions. But the truth of the matter is, the administration needs to be firm in taking actions in dealing with the issue people are caught. So we can't rule it out to say there is nobody in our system that is corrupt. Or that people who ask for bribes to approve contract, I mean, we can say that. But we can show you the administration is prepared to fight that situation.
Okay. Let's hear from you, Mr. Vanning. Before I come to George Kennedy, Vanning, we are talking about the U.S. State Department report on our investment climate. I'm sure you might have read that. You listen to Sam Jackson. He's quite put it as being worrisome. He said it's not a good report for the country. We need to do more than what we are doing.
Yeah, let me say thank you for coming late, but let me appreciate you for the show. Let me say thank you to all my brothers. I actually, let me just add to Sam Jackson. The situation is about an old age situation. In the first place, we need to appreciate.
Let's not hang on old age situation. Let's not hang on perennials. The thing is, because I know there where you are coming, because Sam said it was historical, so everybody going to run with it. It's an age old. You came with the mantra of change. You came with the intention to rescue whatever the bad old age problem.
We are just spent 1 year, 8 months, going to 2 years, and transformation can just take place overnight. Mm-hmm. In the first place, you need road. You need very good road. Let's say, for example, for Cape Mount. Cape Mount is a very good site, tourist site, right? We don't have a good road from Marina to Robertsport, and government is working on that, right? We need constant electricity. We need part-board water, for investors that will come and we attract them to stay, right? Most especially to go to those places and have some level of news experiences. How we get me? Mm-hmm. So government is working on that, and let me appreciate the Joseph Yumot-led government by trying to see how best to pave the way currently now from Monserrato here to go to Tuzon or Zeju, right? We have a lay paved road now. How you get what I'm saying to you? So it's a gradual process. It will not just happen overnight. That's what we are saying.
Okay, let me go here. Yes, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, thank you.
You listen to the report. I'm sure you might have access to it as well. What's your takeaway? And also listen to Sam Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, as Mr. Fambule, as Mr. Yankwe, they all right. The fight is we need to change. And not to wait for too much time before we change. We should change now. Now, because the longer or the more we delay, the backward our country remains. So the issue of corruption, yeah, it's true, it's historical. The only thing, one of the things that I report lacking, I'm not saying you should name individuals, just name the institutions. Probably you say, hey, you know, some other people went here and these are some of the things. Maybe they will tell the government behind the scene, because if it is, when you say public sector corruption, it means government. So if you did your assessment, probably you went to the Ministry of Finance where Mr. Yankwe is, and you observe certain things, say at the Ministry of Finance, also bottleneck exists, then of course the Ministry of Finance will be moving quick to resolve those issues. But if you generalize, it may not be all the government institutions that are involved that you interact with to come up with a report. So that's where I agree with Mr. Famule. And when it comes to the issue of electricity, the cost of electricity, as mentioned in that report, it is critical. I hold the opinion that as the government expands access to electricity, there should be reduction in tariff costs, Mr. Famule. You know, you people there, you know, that professionally, the lower the tax, the more willingness for people to pay. The higher the tax, the meantime people go to violate, to bypass the tax paying, to try to hire on. That's where power theft, all of those things come in. And the fast nickel is better than the slow down.
Okay.
As we expand, we are saying that see about the cost of power, reduce it, the kilowatts. I know how much for per kilowatt hour now, because still 24 cents in Ghana is 6 cents per household.
Okay,
so we need to look at that.
Okay.
And then also they talk about internet access. I won't agree with them on that. No, I'll be very clear. Nobody got better internet service than Elon Musk.
Of course.
Nobody in the world. That aspect is poor from them. It's poor. I don't agree with them. Right now, Starlink is in Liberia. It's available here. They got they're all here. You get a Starlink. You pay a $550. Your entire building you can get internet service. The United States should not have on our internet service. Investors, if our internet service comes, Starlink is here.
But it's not strong. I mean, it may be available, but not strong indeed.
Very strong.
The way you want to do.
Very, very strong.
I mean, you followed the situation with Representative Small Mulba. He has it at home, but often he goes off, so it's not as strong.
No, I think a different problem. It's not because of the strength of Starlink. Ask anybody who's using Starlink.
But even before Starlink,
it is very solid.
I think we've had some better internet services compared to some of our neighbors, because I often travel to Ghana. Sometimes even on the WhatsApp call, it's very bad. You know, I think we have a better internet system yet.
Okay,
compared to
gentlemen, let's try to we'll shortly end on this and on this topic. But before we end on it, let me go to the assistant minister. Mr. Minister, let me ask, how does this sort of report, how does it portray the government nationally and internationally, especially listing all those defects, issue of public sector corruption, issue of poor internet services, issue of poor infrastructure, issue of government high electricity costs, and government officials, according to the report, are taking bribes before they can award contract. How do you, in your mind, in your thinking, how do you think this portray the image of our government?
So there's not a good uptake for our country, but we know fully well we too are making frantic effort. So the picture of a country as though, I mean, it's not a place that you can do business. We think that is not the right way to go. And that is the reason why you have to make a representation at these international forums to make your case. The finance minister and his team probably what ministers, they were all at the IMF and the World Bank annual meetings. You go to the international meetings, you can make a case better as compared to what other people are saying. If we do not say our story, other people will say it for us. So let me give you a typical example.
Mhm.
Inflation currently, as reported by Leges, is quite different from what people are saying. So if you look at Leges report for the month of September, inflation is less than 5%, I think around 4.7. I mean, you have 5.6 in August. So it's declining. And some of the factors respond that for that got to do with investment in road and energy. Because it's mainly coming from the reduction in the prices of food and other commodities like petroleum products. Because when you build roads, like somebody may measure of the road in the southeastern corridor, people have access to farm. Most of our food, our inflation situation are around food and imported inflation. So that is one aspect you want to look at. So some of the reports, yeah, we look at them, people will publish them, we have to make our own story. And that's the reason why we rely more on Leges and our own system. Now, the
Okay.
other thing about it, last year, the inflation rate reported by the IMF was 8.2%, and Leges reported 8.3%. I mean, those are just marginal changes. So our own system now we can trust because they are not on ground. The value judgment they are giving to our system, they are not on ground to see some of the issues that are happening. And that's the reason why we too are making all efforts and producing reports regularly. If you go on the Ministry of Finance website, you find that we are reporting on our fiscal issue regularly and publishing them. And want the public to go through the reports. We are also publishing annual economic reviews that people can look at the video and read and find out what is happening in our economy. You can compare
Okay.
that what people are saying and what's actually happening on.
Okay, Mr. Minister. Edwin, let's see. Do you agree with the minister, Don? He said the optics is not good for the country.
Certainly, these optics will not be good for any country, and like a developing country like ours, we always want for the international partners to portray a good image of our country in terms of investment. But I think, like I say in my opening statement, sometimes some of these reports are made to satisfy, people who come here to do these things. They sit behind their computer, listen to perceptions of what people say. Are they actually going in there? Are they testing the system to see that actually these things that they are, hearing, are they actually true? Because like we rightly say, the Liberia Business Registry is right here. Go there, do a test case. Go to maybe the investment commission. Do a test case and see how it works. And then based on that, now you have substantial evidence to be able to report these things. But again, that is how it's done in the international side.
Okay.
This report is coming from the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, I read some interesting dialogue or some event that took place between our foreign minister and the U.S. Secretary of State, where he's there encouraging American companies to come and invest in Liberia. All right. In fact, they even talked about the issue of visa reciprocity. They talked about the mining sector, So that's actually also telling you a different picture. At one side, someone is saying that these things doesn't exist. There's too much of bribery, this and that. But again, the man who sits on top of the foreign service sector in the United States is saying that, look, we think Liberia is ready for business. You can go there. There are opportunities in the mineral sector. There are opportunities.
So does that end with dismiss the report?
I think it diluted in a way. No, because
I don't think it dismiss. Okay, let's try.
I think it does because if one of these conditions exists, the American government will not be trying to encourage their people to come and invest.
The thing is, those who are compiling the reports are different from the U.S. Secretary of State.
But
I
that's
mean,
what- yo.
he's at the top.
No, but-
These
but-
people, I'm sure some of them come on ground to see what's happening and
No, but-
and they craft a report. So
but
it
what
doesn't
happened-
in any way
So,
dismiss what they've said.
No.
Let me just come back. Come on.
I'm
Trouble. What happens is that before any major investor come to Liberia, yes, they will read all of these different reports, but indeed, what they would take as factual is what comes from their foreign.
But it's also from the same
foreign
U.S. State Department. It's from the same government. Okay,
No, but these are
let me
different
welcome before you
institutions
come in,
that
Mr.
do this
Minister. Let me welcome Madam Rose Joy. Welcome to the program. Quickly, we've been talking about the U.S. State Department reports on our investment climate. The report has been released, and of course, been talking about investment in the country, the issue of poor infrastructure, the issue of poor internet service, the issue of officials of government, some taking bribes before allowing investors to come in. So that's the discussion. But you come in, before you come, let me just hear from the Assistant Minister from the Ministry of Finance quickly. Yes, Minister Yankwe.
So let me just support Umbrella on this one, because the issue is anybody wants to, like, we like I just said, our team was in Washington at the World Bank and IMF annual meeting. Our team met the authority of the U.S. government and make our case, and they are seeing what is happening. You have to explain your own story. Anybody saying anything about Liberia now will become a debate. So become controversial, because if you say anything negative, there'll be somebody that will say, no, I think this is happening. When you're at that point, that means you keep on somewhere and people are not trusting you and they say thinking about you that way. You are a different place that other people are looking at to say, no, I think these people are no longer the way you see them to be. And they are going to a new place. They are reforming their situation. So what people want to say about you is, we say, what do you say about ourselves? Do we have a challenging environment? I say yes. Is the administration working towards that to transform the situation? I have to tell you, yes. We cannot say we do not have issues, but we have the issues. But the PA Black has to say nothing is happening. You can't do that. Our role condition is no longer like the way it was 1 or 2 years ago. We are improving on that. The issue of
is better pliable than what it was before. Okay.
Of course, but we still need to continue to improve on that.
Okay, Mr. Minister, let's go there and bring in Rose Joy, a Liberia entrepreneur, a businesswoman. Rose, welcome to the program quickly, and let's hear your thoughts.
I think she dropped off.
Is Rose on?
No, I think she dropped off.
Okay, she's gone off. Okay, so gentlemen, we have to. Let me hear from you, Mr. Varney. Rose is back. Okay, Rose, welcome to the program. We were just coming to you when it went off. What's your take on the U.S. State Department report on our investment climate? The report has been out. They've been flagging a couple of abnormalities and all of that. So she's on. Okay, she's gone back. Okay, let's hear from you, Varney, Mr. Fambule. What do you think about the optics of this report?
Actually, you cannot hold this government in full support or against whatsoever, right? Because the government is just coming, and the government are not.
Is that the excuse? Government
No, coming. 1 minute now, please. Because you have to.
Government almost 2 years. Is the government just coming?
2 years is not.
Is that an excuse?
2 years is not a full year, or it's not 3 years, right?
But you came with the promise to rescue. So if you came and you saw bad internet system, you have to rescue. If you came and you saw bad infrastructure, you have to rescue. If you came and you saw government officials, like the report indicated, asking for bribes before they can award contracts, you have to change that.
Thank you.
So what is delaying?
You need to understand that we just came from 14 years of civil and census war.
No. The war ended long since. No. Don't bring the war business in here. the war ended long since.
Chief,
Long since the war ended.
Chief,
We,
you got
Mr. Taylor came in. In fact, it was before Judy Bryan, Mr. Taylor, Madam Sirleaf, President, former President
comment.
Weah, now
Yeah.
President Walker. So the war ended long
Our
since.
government came and damaged almost all of the sector.
Which sector that were damaged?
Our governing sectors.
Which sector?
How you getting? I'm
Which
saying it.
government are
Oh, you need
damaged
to protect
sector?
me here. Why? Oh, you need
I'm
to protect
protecting
me.
you.
You're not protecting me.
Which,
So
I'm just asking. Which
most of the sector, let's look at water and sewer. Under George Weah, it was damaged, right? This government just came and tried to repair it. And let's look at finance ministry. Let's look at the transformation that the government is trying to bring back now to the table.
the question I asked
Look
you,
at the actions.
Mr. Fumble, I did ask you because the same question I asked him, the assistant minister of finance. He said, "Well, the optics is not good." That's the same question I'm asking you. Do you think this report paint a good picture of our image? That's the question.
Thank you.
I'm not asking what
thank you. Thank you.
President we are damaged or what. No. That's
I know that you're not sure a good image, but we just coming, and the government is trying to make some gain towards this. So you cannot holistically place it on the government to make the government to look like the government is not working, and towards that. No, let's look at the action the president just taking. The issues about corruption. Will you say somebody in this country that corrupted, the president never took action on them? Let's look at former minister that was to how do you call it there? To the ministry. Commerce ministry. The president took action on him. Rather, when the situation came out that he bought a car when the people are suffering, the president tried to take action. So I think this government is trying to strive to make some gain, right? We talk about rule. The rule process, it will not just be holistic. It's an old age situation, and the government tried to settle it. We have a huge amount of responsibility on us as government that we took off to protect life and property and to give back to our people.
But you agree that the report is not good for the government, right?
I agree, but
Okay, let's hold you there. Let's hold you there. I agree, but let's hold you there. Mr. Kennedy, let's hear from you.
The report, whether it is credible or not, it's not good for the country.
Okay.
Okay, it shows the challenging and actually good portion of it in terms of the challenges and other stuff. They are all acceptable.
Okay.
We need to work on it as a government and
Okay.
people,
Okay, so it's understood that the
Yeah.
report is good for the country and we need to do more than what we are doing. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on Plum FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Nimba County, Kwatikene Bon County, and of course the radio Urugisi in the Low Fork County. We are streaming live from Plum FM Morovia 105.5 and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That is the Nighttime Facebook, the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. Again, you can share our show. We want you to share it so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow and also be part of tonight's program. Let's try. The Minister of Finance was, in fact, I hope I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he's still away. The Minister of Finance for the weekend delivered a speech at the convention of the All Liberian Journalists Association in the U.S. It's called ALJA for short. That was the 13th convention of that organization, and the Minister of Finance delivered a speech. In that speech, he indicated that the government is gearing up, in other words, trying to prepare itself to begin, honoring its financial obligations with private. Media institutions that the government they owe. And he also spoke about some of the bad and good and ugly, media, personalities. Like he said, some in government, also some outside. So he spoke on a very wide range of issues, including media reform as well. Let's try to listen to his speech and talk about some of the takeaways from the minister's delivery at Aja's convention. Let's try to listen to the speech of the minister quickly.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Gaston Gafon, Minister of Finance and Development Planning. Yeah.
Hello. Yes.
The black period in America.
This time on such a loaded and technical topic. So please forgive me. I will try to do some skipping, and I will give the full speech to the president tomorrow morning, because I'm competing with food and all the other things that they do. I feel immensely honored and privileged to have been selected to deliver the keynote address at this 13th National Convention of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, AJA, an association founded in 1998 by towering figures in Liberian journalism, including former BBC stringer Isaac Bantu, Daily Observer founder Kenneth Yagbawolo Best, the late veteran, versatile sports commentator and radio announcer Patrick Manjo, and several others. Some of the founders of AJA were constrained to leave the land of their nativity to seek safety and succor in the Americas, to escape the bestiality and cruelty of the Liberian Civil War. To speak to a group of journalists is ordinarily no small challenge. But the challenge gets even more difficult when the group one has to address is peopled largely by veteran and not rookie journalists. Many of them have earned venerated spaces in the hearts and minds of the Liberian people for their professionalism and excellence. Mr. President and distinguished members of AJA, you have asked me to address you on the theme private sector investment or key to sustainable economic growth and development in Liberia, the role of the media. This topic could not have been more appropriate because of a host of reasons, not the least of which is that private sector investment is at the very heart of our national development priorities and the surest way to achieving sustainable economic growth and development. In the same vein, the role of the media in achieving expanded private sector investment cannot be overemphasized, because the media, based on what it does or does not do, could serve as an enabler or disabler of private sector investment. What is the government doing to enable private sector investment? On January 15, 2025, President Joseph Newman Boakai launched the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, the AID, a 5-year national development plan that clearly lays out Liberia's roadmap for inclusive development. The AID was simultaneously launched along with 15 county development agendas, which capture the development aspirations and priorities of the 15 political subdivisions of our country. The overarching aim of the AID is to catapult our dear country to lower middle income status in 5 years, thereby pushing GDP per capita from $849 US dollars to at least $1,050 US dollars to at least $1,050 US dollars. We also aim, among other targets, to reduce multi-dimensional poverty from 45% to 35%. The AID envisions a vibrant and resilient economy driven by private sector investment, innovation, and entrepreneurship. To unlock these opportunities, the AID outlines the catalytic role of government in creating an enabling business environment in which the private sector can thrive. Between 2025 and 2029, we plan to make key investments across the 6 sectors of AID that will be the major drivers of inclusive growth. These include agriculture and agribusiness, where we intend to invest, among other things, in irrigation systems and mechanization hubs across the country. In roads, infrastructure and development, we intend to construct and maintain primary, secondary, and feeder roads that connect farms to market and manufacturers to ports. We also intend to invest in energy and ICT infrastructure and modernize our ports. On the rule of law, we intend, among other things, to protect property rights and enforce contracts to restore investors' confidence. We also intend to upscale the fight against corruption to ensure transparency and a level playing field. In education and skills development, we intend to invest in science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, to foster innovation. We intend to expand TVET education and align courses with industrial needs. On a sustainable health, we intend to support investments in water sanitation and hygiene for home, business, and industrial use. And also to improve access to health by expanding and modernizing health facilities to make the population healthier and more productive. Tourism, we intend to establish and capacitate the tourism authority, which has already been done with the naming now of the board and the new leaders of the National Tourism Authority. Well, so far, we have achieved quite a lot just in this period since the launch of the AID. With not to save time, you get in the full speech, all the areas of what has been done. I will pinpoint a few. Mr. President, the AID is not just a plan for government. It is also an opportunity for private sector investment. In fact, any credible investor looking for investment opportunities in Liberia over the next 5 years should get a copy of the AID. This will help them to do any preparation to compete for the legions of government and donor-funded contracts that governments and donors award every year. It is private sector firms that we contract to build roads, bridges, schools, irrigation systems, mechanization hubs, etc. Also, it is private sector firms whose services are contracted both in works and in services like it. And power supply is being extended to many leeward counties.
Okay, let's hold the minister there. Let's hold the minister there and talk about some of what he been making reference to, talking about the inroads that they've achieved so far in trying to actualize or implement the arrest agenda. Spoke about the issue of private sector investment that the arrest agenda also is focusing on, and it spoke about the issue of effort to reduce or minimize or fight against corruption and all of that. But let me hear from you, Edwin. You've listened to the minister briefly. What's your takeaway?
Well, I think basically like what we just said earlier, the minister is actually selling the country in a positive way.
Okay.
And most of the things, almost everything he said, I think there are a lot of semblance of truth that we can see, the effort that government is making in this fight. Like my cousin here said earlier, the very first decision the president took by relieving somebody like the commerce minister, the former commerce minister who was the party chairman, who has been a confidant of the president, to just look at him and say, look, you've crossed the red line, you have to take your leave. And then there are other people again who will definitely follow. So I think the issue of corruption that he talks about, yes, it's true. The government is making strive in there. The investment climate, yes, is open. Again, we need to keep just selling the good image of our country, because it is the private sector that is going to drive the growth of our country, not the government sector. As we speak now, I think government has over maybe close to 75 or 100,000 employees. In a country where you have more than 5 million people, it means that you need to do more for private sector to grow, because once the private sector grow, it will absorb most of the other youthful people. In fact, even in the unskilled area, like the TVET area that he talks about, we need all of these skill sets so that we'll be able to put them out there to work, and then we'll be able to grow our economy gradually.
Okay, what's a takeaway?
Yes, two key issues that the minister spoke of that I mentioned in our report, in a U.S. State Department report, is the issue of property rights. Property, how to get property easily in Liberia. And he said serious work is being done there to ensure that property rights are respected. And also one of the issues they raised was contract enforcement in our report. The minister intelligently addressed it. He said the issue of contract enforcement is a process that is being done, and they are reforming the judicial system. He was very clear. I think what is happening here is, as Mr. Famule said, the Minister Gafwan knows how to sell Liberia. That I can't take away from him. He did it during the HIPIC period, the debt waiver. Then he fought waiving of those international, multilateral, and bilateral institutions. waving around $4.9 billion to put Liberia back from pariah state to a functioning state. So he's the master of this game, and he knows exactly how to coin his message and
Okay.
try to kind of foreign attention to Liberia. Former foreign minister, former finance minister, now back, well experienced in dealing with these things. The minister was
on point.
On point.
Okay, let's hear from you quickly, Vani.
Yeah.
You listened to the Minister of Finance speaking at the Aljat convention. What's your takeaway?
Let me say thank you to him, and I think he was proceeding very well. In the first place, the Minister about corruption, right? Like, sorry, my brother talking about it. The issues about corruption, I think government tried to engage it. They look at former party chairperson for the Unity Party, who was dearly and heartily close to the presidency, have connection with the current president at the time. And when things happened was not in the interest of the state, there was serious action. And it was not only his one. Then look at the other, his deputy, right? Who they said he was not having the credential qualification, right? Yeah, and you saw the actions of the government. So I think in my mind, it's a thing where the government is engaging and they are not just joking with it. Because let me tell you something, corruption, it killed the fabrics of our country. It's a serious impediment toward the growth.
The LTA,
And, you know,
the LTA, the LRRC.
Chief, you need to protect me, please.
That's some of the places.
So these are some of the situations, right? So even the LTA that you talk about, right? And you saw the government response to that places. I think the government is engaging corruption than the previous government. So that's why we are saying that we have a serious government now than previously. Let me very frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what we did, because we're not going to compare it. Let's listen to the minister for the last time where he spoke about the media quickly. Let's try to find a place where he spoke about it.
Sino, River G, and not to paint a rosy picture on what is really obtained. All we ask for is that journalists or influencers of public opinion should consider themselves trustees for the public and should consequently uphold the tenets of the journalist creed, which among other things state, quote, I believe that a public journal is a public trust, that all connected with it are, to the full measure of their responsibility, trustees for the public, that acceptance of lesser service than the public service is betrayal of the trust. I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. I believe that a journalist should write only what he holds in his heart or her heart to be true. I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible. Unquote. Some of the ways the media could help to promote private sector investment is to do investment promotion. Investment promotion to highlight entrepreneurial stories of Liberians in the counties and in the diaspora. Business news coverage, investigative reporting, policy analysis, economic commentary. In fact, we at the Ministry of Finance, our intention is to encourage the resuscitation of the Economic Journalists Association and we intend to give whatever support in conjunction with partners for the resuscitation of that body.
Politics.
Yes. The other thing is that media entities are also business entities. And so the media must survive. And for the media to enable private sector investment, media institutions themselves must pay their workers and cater to their challenges so that their ability to report objectively can be bolstered. Government cannot and should not be suffocated of the media by failing to pay its bills to the media. That's why we have begun to pay domestic arrears or domestic debt duly vetted by the General Auditing Commission. Domestic debt to the media. We started paying debt from the past 2 years. We started paying, and we will not rest until we clear all the debt.
Okay, let's try to end on that note. That's the point I was looking for. Gentlemen, what's your take there? He said, and he was very blunt, that government should not serve as any suffocator, and that has been the cry of the press union and other media owners in the past. Often, media owners are always, behind government, asking for, monies owed media institutions, and like you said, it shouldn't be like that, because media institutions too have their workers to pay, and they have that operational cost as well. What's your take? What's your takeaway from what you also said?
Well, for me, I would say, well, that's a very brilliant point, because the minister understands that communication is one of the best ways to sell the government, and the media is key in this particular aspect. So if the media is satisfied, if the media is doing business with the government and they are being paid, it becomes easier for the media to be able to spread, the good news for the government.
Sure.
We're not saying, everything is rosy, just come out there and just praise them. But like you rightly said, Prime FM is a private radio station, have employees. They have to pay them. They have an operational cost. They have to keep the electricity on. They have to keep the system going. When the microphone breaks down, they have to buy it. So if the government is owing them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, how do you actually expect for this media institution to survive?
Yeah.
And our country is not like other countries where businesses and foreign partners do a lot of adverts, like when you go to other countries or so, you see it there. So outside of the government, the media is still making some kind of money. That particular culture have not yet been, sold into Liberia, where you have almost all of the businesses trying to do, promotions. So I think this is actually a very good step, and I think the minister needs to make sure that we follow through and make sure that all the media houses get paid. And going forward, the government should not own any media house.
Okay.
Because these guys are struggling. When the power goes off, they have to put the generators on.
Now, let me ask you, what do you think the minister was key on the aspect of duly vetted the requests for whatever government owes, the request will be duly vetted before payment can be done?
Yeah, he actually said duly vetted media institutions by the GAC. GAC completed the audit domestic debt a few days. So the media is part of it. The media sector is part of it. So as I said earlier, the minister knows what he's doing. He's communicating with the media. He wants the media to help sell government's policies, government's programs. So what he has to do is to appease the media is to pay them. establish a kind of relationship with the media that will make the media to be a bit flexible in marketing the government. And he spoke to me directly when he mentioned LIJA. I'm one of the officials of LIJA. I'm the financial secretary of LIJA, the Liberal Economic Journalists Association. We spoke about the idea of revamping the LIJA, and also the PUL president, in fact, spoke to me. We're trying to get Mr. Doe S.K. Davis and other guys, because Zoga James is late, Horatio Bobby Wole is late, Timothy Sikora is late. So you
have to recruit new members. Okay, let's leave that.
We've been there. We'll talk about it.
No, we'll pay for the airtime when you bring them. Okay, yes, Mr. Barney from
Mr. Thank you to the minister. You know, the media have the capacity to fix and destroy, and that's why we say that we have a serious government now. Yesterday, those guys were not fighting.
So the previous government was not a serious government?
I'm saying my government now is a very serious government.
Okay,
I think about you
the
people.
Government, you just don't mind how we go.
You brought CDC to power. Was that serious government?
Unity Party right now is a very serious government.
But NCDC was serious when you're behind CDC?
Chief.
Why makes CDC not serious now? They said because you cross over the Unity Party?
I'm discussing Unity Party now. We have a very serious government.
Stop comparing.
Let me just
dig your
we have a serious government now.
Okay.
You know, actually, let me be frank with you, right? It's a very good thing because the media sell every information. Like, for example, right, my brother gave instances of Prime FM. Prime FM have workers, and they got to pay their workers. They have some other sorts of things that they use here for this place to be on. You know, the UNO alone cannot do it. And I think Prime FM is a registered media institution on the government. I will get what I'm saying to you. So they are being sworn within the GSC that my brother just talked about.
Okay.
So government will look into you people because, mind you, now you have a family and you have a family that you need to take care of, right? So government must put interest within the media sector because the media sector, when you put interest in it, will be more flexible and, you know, will be more balanced in their points that they will come out, more especially propagate some of the good things that the government will be doing. So we are not just joking. So we want to attack everywhere for every sector, right? That will be inclusive within this identical, government. That everyone will make sure that they will see themselves within the Boakan-led government. At least something will be unfolding.
Okay, thank you, Vani. Rose just indicated that she's back. Let's try to welcome Rose again. She says she's back. She's gone off. Okay, it seems like she's having a problem with the internet. She's back. Rose, welcome back to the program.
Hello.
On and off. What's happening tonight?
Oh, the internet. I mean, people on here saying the internet is better, but I don't know. I don't want to be negative.
Do you have Starlink? Do you have
okay, Rose, do
you have Starlink? What internet service are you using? Starlink?
I was using Liberia internet service, but I just put my Starlink on. I just plugged it. I just plugged the Starlink, and that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah, so we didn't want
Rose, so please, Rose, let's hear your let's hear your take on what we've been talking about. And I know you joined us earlier. You didn't make your input on the U.S. human rights investment climate report. You didn't make your input, and then we just spoke about the Minister of Finance, talking about some of the major gains by the government. So, just in few minutes, tell us your position quickly, so that we can transition to our last discussion quickly. Rose. Okay, so please kindly share the show. We want you to share. Again, we are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5, or we are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat, the YouTube channel, and our Facebook page, Nighttime Heat Facebook page as well. You can share the show. Rose, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. So let me hurry and say what I want to say.
Yeah, quickly,
Anyway,
quickly.
the report that was given out here, I think I'm one of the victims of that report. First of all, I came back to Liberia to invest in this country, and not just this year, but like 2 years ago, invested almost $20,000 to $30,000 in this country. Come back here, and the people that I put into place, I come back. There's nothing that can show me, not money, not the things, nothing. So I lost 30,000 in Liberia. I took this situation to the court since May. I've been given the runaround. I have done assignments over assignments over assignments.
That
So
points to
there's
the
nothing
weak.
in this report. There's nothing in this right. I'm going through it right now. It's not say, oh, John going through it or Peter. I'm sitting here today, I'm going through it. And it's just because of my consistency. But if it's anybody else that's from another country, would say, okay, I'm just gonna leave and go back. Don't have no other fear. I'm still investing in Liberia. Investing in Liberia, have things here. People misuse it. I mean, it's terrible because there's no law on the book. The people, the justice system needs to be fixed. The justice system is sucks. I would tell anybody in the face, even the one that is heading the justice system, it needs to be fixed. Because if I would tell the truth, if this country is the US, a lot of people will get killed in this country. Because the way people play with people, things in this country, play with people, and nothing happens to them, they are lucky. So nothing.
God, yeah.
Okay, our internet is giving her problem tonight. Yes, go ahead.
Even when it comes to I have a construction company, and I'm out here. I have all my paperwork, PPCC. I pay a lot of money. I'm out here. And one time I went to a ministry and I approached one of the ministers and I was like, I'm new out here, those little contracts, I'm a Liberian company. And he says to me, oh, we don't do it like that. I think I want to have a share in your company. I'm like, a share in my company? I said, it's not going to happen. So I said, why you think you should have a share? Oh, because I'm going to give you contracts in here while I'm in here. When I tell you the report is not even a joke that I'm a victim, it's not a joke. So if people sit on here and think like, oh, this report was just written because people just want to sit back and write things, no. We are living this in Liberia. And another reason I'm still here, because I'm so intentional to be in my country. So intentional. Because if I wasn't intentional, long time I pack my bag and go on. So we just need to be real to our people. We need to start fixing things. I think I saw the deputy minister at some other place, some other forum the other time again, and I was there and was speaking. We need to be real. We need to start working. This country, we are not working. We just put things on paper. We show up to places. We talk. We go out of country with delegations. Like, we need to start doing things. You understand me? Making sure the people in this country have work to do. Making sure something is made from Liberia, made in Liberia. Making sure bringing citrus into this country. I mean, we got so much work to do in this country.
Okay. Okay. Let's hold there. Let's hold there. Minister Yanko, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Okay. You just listen to the in other words, the experience, the ordeal of this business entrepreneur. You just listen to it's like validating exactly the U.S. State Department report on our investment climate.
So I support into my fellow panelists in the listening audience. Like I said earlier on, I already debunk or maybe uphold to that statement because I had no evidence. But to my sister Rose, some of these things, we need to lift them. We need to call names. We need to report these things. We have freedom of information, whistleblower processes that you can use to complain some of these things. Because if we keep them, I mean, how do we correct these issues? We have to find a way to report them. And let me also tell you, thank you for your resilience and your love for country. That in the midst of all of these challenges, we will continue to make our own contribution, contribute our quota to making sure that our country gets improved. So if you want me to continue by speaking on the issue of the minister, I can still go ahead with that.
Yes, quickly.
Okay, now, so last year, April, on the minister's birthday, I did a post and referred to him as a mentor with distinction. But then I had no idea whether you're going to be my immediate boss, because at the time we have Mr. Burman Kamara, a respectable economy of our country, as the finance minister. And later on in September, he will become my boss. Mr. Gafwan has a proven record of making Liberia kids, like you saw him doing. But the other side about it, about investing in the private sector, aspect of in the AI. One aspect of that is to make sure we pay domestic debt. I know we are concluding the 2026 budget, but you will see us paying more and more debt as the year comes until we can clear these things. We owe the banking institutions, we owe media institutions, we owe other businesses. So one strategy is to make sure the current activity you're having with these institutions, you start paying that while you try to address the legacy payments. That way you strengthen them, you strengthen the economies. In my position as the Assistant Minister for Economic Policy, I want to see more money flowing into the economy through the private sector. That will foment the activity you have in the economy. Employment will take place. The media institution can buy better equipment. They can be able to have their programs in other counties. And the more and more we provide information for our people, the more they are aware of what is happening in the environment, and the more they can be able to have the information. Not just media institutions, medical institutions, insurance companies. We have to make sure we pay these people their money. The fiscal space is small, but our commitment with them is the activity we are having with you now. We will pay those ones while we are addressing the old age issues by paying your debt gradually.
Okay.
And we are committed to doing that.
Okay. Well, Mr. Minister, thank you. You're listening to Nighttime Heat right here on Prime FM 105.5 and other stations across rural Liberia. Let's try to get this video out quickly. It's the CDC headquarters groundbreaking and wake-up call to the Unity Party ahead of 2029. Can the party be frightened about what they saw? Let's try to get this video quickly. The Unity Party I'm making reference to, can it be frightened by what it saw on Saturday with a huge crowd? Let's try to look at this video.
Joshua is coming up. Joshua is coming up. Joshua is coming up. Joshua is awesome. He's awesome. Joshua is awesome. Joshua is awesome. This is unbelievable. This is something you can't describe. This is something you can't easily describe. This is unbelievable. This is the people leader. This is the man who is a true representation of the people. This is a man that was destined.
Okay, let's try to just edit it quickly. And let's hear from you first. Should we hear from the minister first? Okay,
No
we'll
problem.
come back to you. Mr. Minister, let's hear from you, or let's hear from the lone female in our midst, Rose Joy. You saw this video. I'm sure other videos been online that you watch also. With what you saw, especially that groundbreaking ceremony of the CDC of former President George Weah. You think this a wake up call for the people for the partisans of Unity Party? Rose.
Yeah, I think it's a wake up call, not just for Unity Party, but for every party that's in this country to have their own place, to have an ownership of a place that they can gather. It's a new beginning, and I hope this, teaches a lesson. What
You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prime FM 105.5, and also other stations across rural Liberia.
yes,
We are also okay. Yes, go ahead.
so it is a wake up call, and then Liberians are flip floppers. They're over there today making noise the same way. All those seditions now they're to UP, and then when sedition win, they will come back to CD. It's Liberia. It's politics is so funny. Flip floppers, so they can fool me. So all you have to do is just enjoy the moment, do what you can do, build a party here.
Rose, are you saying that Unity Party should not be frightened by the crowd that CDC put up?
Why they fighting? Because most of them in United Party came from CDC, and if CDC thinking about winning again, they're gonna go flip flopping there to CDC again. So, United Party and CDC, everybody flip flopping all the time. So you don't even know who's dedicated, who are bona fide seditions. It's hard to tell. So again, Liberian politics is funny. You just have to do what you got to do when you're in the moment, enjoy it. But the real thing about this whole breaking ground is showing and telling people when you have an organization, you need to be serious about it. You need to put the foundation down, and you need to do better. That's it. That's the lesson to every party in this country.
Okay. Let's read it. Mr. Minister, let's hear from you. Assistant Minister Yankwa, let's hear from you. Do you think what we saw on Saturday, it's something to scare Unity Party?
And to my colleague on his panelist and to our listening audience, you want to bring out something in me that you don't know about. Normally, I want to be a professional guy, but just to tell you, I'm the former youth secretary for UP Montserrat, as well the former county secretary for UP. The CDC is in no way scaring the Unity Party. When we go to election, and come in, the reason why I give you my background in politics, I have analyzed the situations, and I know when and how to win election in this country. In 2021, I was in Japan. I had everything to remain there, and I said I would go home, would defeat George Weah, and we did that. The UP got proven records of beating the CDC back to back. We did that in 2005. We repeated it in 2011. The Unity Party is the only party in Liberia that left from power and came back just after a single administration, a 6-year term. We had that strategy. The only reason this may defeat us if we are lackadaisical in leadership. And I think we are doing extremely well, and nothing is going to scare us. Our greatest regret would be to go to the second round with CDC. If you see what happening currently in the Southeast, they can easily be in Southeast. If people are aware, listen to Senator Pena. I was there in September, and I saw what is happening. The people feel relieved about some issues. There's no cohesion in the mud. Team passes are dropping down. They can feed it. They can see it. They know what's happening. You see massive infrastructure development ongoing. Our people are quite aware. I mean, George Weah, even before he became president, he's a football star. Even myself, before we cheer him for playing football. When it comes to leadership, we don't trust in him. People can see it. They can feel it. They tell all these things. The way people are even running the various ministry and agency, those that are there as citizens, they see that you have a responsible government. To say we are a federal CDC, no. And the next thing you want to understand here, before I even drop, when we are going towards 2028, somebody trust me, with my experience in politics in this country, there will be mass exodus of serious citizens to UP. Because we see no way where they can come back. I'm sure of that. You see mass exodus.
Why do you see will cause that mass exodus?
Because it will be more glaring at the time that they are not coming back.
It's not glaring almost 2 years that close to 2029 will be glaring.
So no, the issue about it is by that time you have the left wing of the submission corridor that completed. You have the growing Lufa ongoing. The yesterday will be on the increase. I mean, things will be opening up. By that time, who will be thinking about CDC to come out about? I'm not going to talk about that. They are not coming back.
Let's read there quickly. Yeah, Mr. Edwin Fumble. Let's hear from you.
So
we have to open the lines briefly.
So basically, I will start from where my sister Rose placed it. Liberian politics, from my recollections, it's not based on convictions.
Okay.
To say I believe in this party ideology and I'm going to stick to it. Wherever the euphoria is, you see the group running there. The same group. If you do an analysis of the people that went to the CDC rally on, what was it, Saturday? The Unity Party having a program on December 6th. 80% of that same group will be at the Unity Party. I'm not talking about the officials of the CDC. And secondly, former President Weah is an icon. Look, we cannot take that away from him. Wherever he goes, people will go there to see him. There are some point I've not had the opportunity to see him, even when he was, president, because he was always in the convoy, moving from one point to Ed and another. But I don't see this, as a wake-up call for the UP. And my thing is that I think what needs to happen, we need to start to build political institutions. What we have done over time is that we've built these social and political clubs to actually push the agenda of an individual who say, I want to be president.
Okay,
and then when that person leave the scene, the political party dies.
Okay, let's read there quickly. We'll have to take a few calls quickly. Yes, sir. Mr. Vanning Fumble. Do you think the Unity Party should start working hard and more harder? What is sort of on Saturday?
No.
Why no?
Or half lap land. People go there, half lap.
But which one you have?
Hello, Chief.
Which one did Unity Party have?
Look, someone got to take your time.
No, I'm asking you. Half lap land now.
We have a space that I have lap. I play the half lap. And I even whole lap.
You've been around for 40 years. No. You've been around for 40 years. You should be talking about space.
Listen. You cannot compare us with CDC. Not possible.
Why?
Take your time, because you know why?
Why?
Just look at the trend of the Unity Party. Like what the minister said, we beat CDC back to back in this country. 2005, the Unity Party beat CDC. 2011,
the
Unity Party, the 2011
they beat us. So they beat us. That's why we beat CDC.
Chief, cannot be protected. Yes.
So they beat us.
I'm Unity Party member now.
Oh, okay.
So you take your time.
You're amongst those rules what they're talking about.
Yeah,
they flip-flop.
Why you call flip-flop? In politics, there's no permanent enemy and there's no permanent friend. Right? So you need to take that. Rose got to know that, right? Politics is interest, right?
So you got interest in Unity Party now.
Cannot be protected, please.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, listen, the Unity Party is my way now.
Okay.
And the Unity Party flogged the CDC 2005.
At the time you were in CDC.
2011.
You were in CDC then.
Hey, Chief.
No,
Chief. I agree. I was in CDC then, right?
Okay.
The Unity Party flogged us that time, right? 2011, the Unity Party flogged us, right? 2023, right? They just ended the election. The Unity Party flogged us, right? So the Unity Party for a strategy or caricature, right? Or group cannot make us to be worried. It's not possible, right? But I can tell you for free, hold your peace and wait December 6th.
What's going to happen?
And see the tsunami that will happen in the country. And see whether a wake-up call will not get to them.
So you photocopy exactly
what you call photocopy. We have the Unity Party photo strategy. They are educated people within the Unity Party. We not take
so because of
we not take
want to launch
drop out.
No, what I'm saying because
remain you to be party chairman.
Judge, can I ask this man a question? I want to just ask him one question.
Come in, Rose.
I want to ask this man one question.
If
they didn't destroy the past CDC headquarters, you think you was ever going to think about having their own place?
Let me answer that question.
Who did
Let me answer that question. So, I beg.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so in my past life, just before we left the election, our Secretary of Maserati, we had our own retreat, and then in Maserati, we developed a document that requested the party to have our own party headquarters. And unfortunately, we lost the election in 2017. And let me say this: the UP is going to have our own headquarters.
No, that's not the question. That's not the question.
I'm coming, Rose. It is not predicated upon CDC saying because they lost their former headquarters to a court process. Then that's the reason. That's the reason why I'm telling you. We already have a document that we prepared on the mechanism involved in having our own place. But then we lost the
after 40 years.
After 12 years.
No, yeah, even after 40 years. So
after 40 years.
Even after 40 years, we are on a path now, and we'll have our headquarters. We'll have it in Monrovia. We'll have it in all of our counties. We can show you that.
But Deputy, I want you guys to still give the credit to CDC for having the first.
We're not going to get on credit to CDC.
No,
it's not predicated upon them.
No,
they are funding. So even currently, where they are going, they have confusion there.
That's personal. That's personal. But you need to congratulate.
You will not give CDC credit, Rose.
We're
not do that.
Okay.
Are you, since Rose, you telling us that to break ground mean you get headquarters?
Oh yeah, you initiative. You taking an initiative.
Please answer. Are you telling me if you break ground to build a building, it means you already got a building?
No, you don't. You don't already have the building, but you have done initiative.
It's
same thing. The same with UP. When you break a
ground, they 12 months. They go almost 3 months. They told in 12 months they will build a headquarters. They go almost 3 months.
All
right, Mr. Minister, thank you.
We are watching. They go almost 3 months.
As a while, CDC cries a wake up call. I saw those 4,000 people on the main road in that place from Charles Taylor House approaching the old United Party headquarters that will soon be modernized. You are aware of that. You've been announcing yourself. I can't even go in.
No, I mean, I know.
So
United Party is spending close to 2 million plus.
If that headquarters once completed, CDC will find another place to move.
But that shouldn't be news now.
No, that's something that
you should have had this one in place. 40 years you've been around, you got no party headquarters. You foreign CDC.
Foreign CDC will have to break ground.
But no, but you foreign CDC. CDC just broke ground. You're about to secure your party headquarters now.
If you break ground, it means you have built now.
They built the building. But you were not thinking about building initially.
No, you're not getting
You were not thinking about building.
Some of us, we can't talk everything. What we've done behind the scene.
But that shouldn't be news. You should have, no. I'm coming.
It is December 6th just coming because at December 6th.
Conway, you know the party should have had all of those headquarters in rural Liberia, in urban, 40 years?
I do
That's
agree.
a long time.
I do agree with you. And probably no party in Liberia got that. So,
but you should have hired. No, that's not an issue.
Yeah,
don't find any alibi.
That's not an issue. It's not
the thing is, the thing is,
the longest serving political party in this country, that True Party. How many headquarters the guy in one? EJ Roy, the guy in Malaysia. Where else in the 15 countries?
But you
served for 133 years.
So you want to compare yourself with EJ Roy with TWP?
So let's go back to the real issue, because the issue of parties having property in Liberia across the country, it's not being.
All of you have failed.
Everybody.
All of you have failed.
Yeah. So back to the issue. To be very frank, your question was about the crowd, and so whether it's a wake up call politically.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It is not a.
So that I'm not going to.
It's not anything to fear.
Okay.
One little district, will not overpower that. I can tell you that.
And Slobo, just to add up,
I gotta open my lines quickly. So let me just announce the numbers.
I made a point.
Before you come in, let me just announce the numbers. If you wish to partake, 0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987. Or better still, 0886 540 987. Again, 0886 540-987. That's the numbers to call, and you are live. Yes.
Yes, I would say, just to support what Brother Kennedy said, and I think I made a point that our party politics in Liberia have never been organized based on ideology.
Okay, let me take this call quickly. Let me take this call on the line quickly, and after which I take down the call. Let's hear from you. Hello? Yes, sir.
Good evening to you, good evening to the panelists in studio. Thank you very much. My name is Mohammed Emikanen Chion. I'm a resident of district number 16, and I speak to you this evening from the project island, Summer Joy. Let me appreciate your effort for your analysis on Front FM on your platform, saying your excellency on Front FM. I think you've been doing well on your network show. Okay, I think let me highlight on my point. I am a member of the current ruling party, the party, and to be very honest, I think the unity party will not be blindfolded by one group of people. For me, the crowd that was highlighted on Saturday, for me, no, getting a crowd, it doesn't mean to say that you are getting the popularity to even win election come 2029. Okay, but I would just like to say to our members, our film brother in the studio, Mobisa, for those who are working in government offices for the ruling party. I think for now, even those we are above to even own our own party headquarters, come December the 6th of our groundbreaking ceremony program, but I think they have to be informed that their party team then Oxa, the way the party team then Oxa there. Oxa, I think they shouldn't forget about the party team then, because these were things that even made the former CDC to even lose election in this country.
Okay.
Whenever when they're up there, they have to look down to the common people.
Okay. You made your point. It means that many of the politicians have been neglected in other words. Let's hear from you quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jeremiah J.Ku. I call from district number 17.
Let's hear from you, Jerry.
Yeah, and I appreciate all of your panelists on the show. So when it comes to the crowd politics in this country, CDC, our friends from the CDC nature, they need to change their style now, because, like in the words of Mr. Kumi, you can't be doing the same thing and you expect different result. For me, I don't know whether the world will be harsh, but I see it to be challenged now. Crowd politics is in the past. It's in the past. And with trouble, let me say this: in case the government The present government decided to give people a lot of will. Then I told them to come and sample somewhere. Do you mean everybody will be supporting the government?
Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. I see to be challenged.
Okay. You see it to be challenged. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Shabba, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I'm Jude Aloysius Bami, and I call from the Banjo Oru.
Okay.
It is starting to know that our leaders will be discussing party headquarters, my brother, and then leave the bread and butter issues. We'll be discussing party, headquarters that is supposed to have built ever since. My brother, it's very saddening, you know. It's very saddening that the Unity Party, you understand, what a CDC and what a Unity Party will be discussing issues about buildings and forgetting about the bread and butter issue is very saddening.
Okay.
My brother, thank you so much.
Okay, you see, it's very sad. And let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Oh, someone Jones.
Hello? Oh, he went off. Let's take this other call on the line. This is another call on the line. Good evening.
Evening, brother.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
All right, this is Isaac Suman. I call you from West Point.
Okay.
You know, I don't know why citizens of the countries are saying that Unity Party is not doing anything. For me, I hail from Breakthrough, Southeast, where Georgia is from. And you remember that we used to pass through Africa? We used to pass through Africa. But today, our brothers and sisters are living from here the same day, before in the evening, they are in Breakthrough. The party is doing well for us in this country. Corey, when we're here, the spark says here. The care current sometimes will take you 2-3 hours before you get current. But the current is stable now. We need to give the president a chance. Party headquarters, it is something that people are supposed to work with. No. The government is improving. Let us give them a chance. Let them go 3 years before 4 years and see what will happen in this country.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You made your call. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Good evening to your panelists. My name is Ogu Fofana. I call from Ajifaki tonight.
Okay.
I want to tell the issue of the party headquarters building. You know, early now I do, but that's not we can correct the mistake. But United Party is a very main party. The issue of increasement of rentage. The people ask what we say now we can the money will not be a material that we peacefully left place. Unless that the image shaping the senior on the United Party. Your leadership, you feel the party got they put it on the party. I want to see this clear. CDC who play the party and color. So I want to see this. You know, if you were in 12 good years, your leadership will prepare. You not prepare. Okay, you want 10. 6 years. What you do, should I do with all the knowledge why you get me? Come to yourself, more think. You say, what was the reason the house? Then you want to take. Tell us your mistake. But up to now, they are all brothers. They can't even recognize.
Okay. Okay. All right. Many thanks. Many thanks. Many thanks. Many thanks. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Oh, trying to. Okay. Oh, Mr. Caller, let's take this other call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Let me say good evening to the other panelists for the name and impact of the tangible political and possible allies as well as that will give it picking.
Okay.
From District 16. Yes, what happened is like we are monitoring, we are observing what is unfolding when it comes to the politics in our country.
and then how eager and how greedy is CDC that they really want to come back to power, and they are why they have to give power to the unity party. But what we can see today is that, and overall, this country called Liberia is on the crossroad of development, because our party will learn from the past mistake of the unity party and of the CDC. So right now, this unity party is not taking anything like this. This government is doing extremely well. This government will do extremely well when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to the economic, electricity, everything's on that. And then we can say the same to CDC. And they always in the habit of saying that it was propaganda that Unity Party makes to succeed them. So they want to use the same propaganda. And CDC is a party that is on the record of being ignorant of anything.
Okay, many thanks. You made your point already. Let's take additional calls quickly. Time is still not in our favor. Let's try to take additional calls quickly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Sabo George?
I'm okay. Let's hear from you.
What a nice way for me to see on the radio again.
Okay.
To be frank, we don't talk about crowd. Don't think about crowd. The crowd we talk about is developmental crowd. To fix the road from here to the Sierra Leone border, to fix the road from here to Grand Gile, to fix the road from here to Sano and Maryland. Because normally the people used to go through Ivory Coast to go to Maryland. It's no more happening. From here to Lofa is just a day. These are the development we're talking about. When the government actually concentrates on paying salaries on time and take care of the hospitals and all the other things, that is what we call crowd. Okay. The crowd means nothing. You can have the entire whole world best 11 on the football field, and the rest of the world can beat them, not because of the crowd. So don't go by crowd. Crowd doesn't mean anything. The government just pay attention keenly to all what they are doing. Now, Liberia is surrounded by Jesus Network Blessing, JNB for short.
Okay, many thanks, many thanks, many thanks. We'll take only two more calls and we'll wrap it up quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Sir Jordan Seiko Kano. I call from the JNB and JGA Dream for Liberia. I listen to you, counteracting your co-host, that Unity Party spent 12 years in power. They couldn't build party headquarters. But let me do the comparison analysis between the two who are trying to recalibrate themselves. The Unity Party and the CDC. The Unity Party was basically focusing in the last 12 years on rebuilding this country from the ashes. You understand that? When the CDC came, they were focusing on building their lives, building multiple homes for themselves. So they see the comparison analysis, they forget about the poor who placed them in that position. They were building condominiums.
Okay.
They were buying cars for girlfriends, paying houses for girlfriends. So that the difference between United Party, which are focusing on improving the country, improving the international.
Okay, many thanks. Tom has cut over us. Many thanks. Tom has cut over us. Gentlemen, we have to take parting comments and we'll go. It's almost at 10:30. We have to go from here. Let me hear from you. First, is Rose on? Okay. Is the minister on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Minister, let's hear from you. Your parting comment quickly.
So the caller said, but there are two things I want to respond to. One caller talk about bread and butter issue. Bread and butter issues, to address it doesn't mean you go to fuller shop, buy bread and butter and share on people. We'll keep hearing this. To solve bread and butter issue is to reduce the price of major commodities, like petroleum products, rice, is to build roads, invest in education and medical services, which we are doing, invest in energy. The other thing I want to say to our partisans, the guy said from District 16, their policy have been looked down on. I don't know your definition, but I heard it from other partisans and what do we say? We cannot employ everybody in the government. It's not possible. When I was youth secretary from 2010 to 2016, I was never given job at UP. but I remain committed to the party. The next issue is, I asked one of our youth, what you call look down on. So we call people, you don't pick up your call, you don't give us money. I cannot be on this show at this time and then answering call. You go to work, you want to be answering call, the call we receive, you buy about 7 cell phones. How do you achieve your objective? The next issue is, if we are saying to fight corruption, then we should allow government officials not to be giving us money. And I asked one, how much you think as a city minister I can distribute a day? And say at least $100. Now that means every month I have to find $3,000 US. That is far more than my salary to share on people. We are the same people that can be fired at any point in time. We are the same people when we leave government. He expects us to have our own homes. He expects us not to work by line. We have to understand these things. What we can do to support our policy is to invest in infrastructure, is to invest in energy that will bring investors to this country, that will provide jobs for you, that you can do businesses. We have to do away with the time where we think we can go to one meet off in the morning, representative asking for birthdays, asking for this. So because it's counterproductive, you made it to be corrupt.
Okay, Mr. Minister, thank you. Thank you very much. Time has cut off us. Let's hear from you, Vani Famula, quickly. Your parting comment.
Yeah, actually, let me say thank you for being here. And, quickly, I want to respond to the last issues or the bringing down, let's say, the situation that just unfolded on Saturday, breaking ground ceremony by CDC is no threat to the unity party. And I can tell you for free that Joseph Boakai will be re-elected 2029 because it's
is he rerunning? Is he running again?
Yeah, he will rerun. He will rerun. And the only name for Georgia.
Did he confirm that to you?
Chief, the people of this country will bring him back to rerun.
No, I'm just asking, did he confirm it?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's good. That's your parting comment.
So let me say thank you to that.
Okay, that's your parting comment. Famula?
Yes, just let me say thank you. And I think on the last issue, the court has already, make that verdict. That based on what the government is doing, quote unquote, the issue with the growth in the Southeast, the prices and stuff, it shows some level of improvement that the government should not even be threatened or worried about what happens on Saturday. To the issue of the U.S. Investment Club report, yes, it's welcoming, but like I said, we as Liberians have to portray the positive image of our country and make people to understand that, look, if you see these things in any institution, if you have orders, you can report, like somebody said, the Whistleblower Act. In fact, the president just appointed some director for whistleblower or witness protection or so. So these things are now gradually picking up. Once these things, is spotted in any institutions or so, I think, we should raise the red flag and then actions will be taken,
Okay, George?
I will ask the U.S. government, it could be through the State Department or the embassy here, to look at concession agreements are signed here where the government, Liberia being given 4% royalties, Liberia being given 4.5% royalties. This can never happen in the United States or anywhere in Europe. If you want poverty, corruption to be removed from this country, let there be fair, transparent concession process here. Let the country get shared in those companies.
Okay.
Fair share of not less than 40%.
Okay.
In that way, we address our national issues, infrastructure, like they're talking about internet and all that thing. You will see the country growing.
Okay. Thank you. Before we go, let me try to reference some of our viewers quickly. Not all. Answering their Yegon, he said he's been watching from Nimakari. Gloria Boyu passed away. She's been watching from the U.S. Vinicius Junior Bar. It is from where Shadrach Groming from Yikipa Nimakari. Amos Y. He said been watching from Chester. Gerald Cummings, good friend of mine, been watching from Minnesota. Gregory Tobano from New Georgia State. Frederick Shan Sulong, been watching from Sano. Honorable Summers and Sabo. He said been watching from Johnsonville Township. Sam Ayeni, Dennis said from where? Ophelia S. George says you've been watching from home. Well, thanks to all of you who've been watching. We can call all of the names of watching and also listening to the program. Join us on Wednesday. We'll be back for another fascinating edition of the Nighttime Heat. This program, like we said, it's designed to bring all sides on board. What are the opposition, the non-position, the imposition? They all should come and let's talk about Liberia. This program is not basically the program where we just want to beat the drum of the government and dance or beat the drum of the opposition and dance. It's basically a program that's highly balanced, serving everyone. So, but George is my name. Have a pleasant night.